Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. Nobody really came over to my channel and really trolled me hardcore today, which I do appreciate. Thank you, trolls, for leaving me alone. Honestly, since the Google Plus switchover, I don't get a fraction of the comments that I used to. I don't know if people just don't want to switch over to Google Plus, so they choose not to comment anymore. And that's one thing that you have to switch over in order to leave comments under the new comment section. But I just have noticed that my views haven't changed, but yet my comments are way, way down. So if that is one of the things, just make sure you hit me up at Stevie Breach on Twitter. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. You can start a wrestling discussion back and forth right there. If I'm at work and working, it might take me a couple minutes to get back to you, but I ain't got jack shit else to do, and that's why I like Twitter so much. But basically, from going around, one of the groups that I like to go on was the No DQ'd Open Discussion Wrestling Board. It's not the best plug in the world for it, but if you're looking for it, you can find it on Facebook, and it's pretty cool. It's just an open discussion of a whole bunch of wrestling fans, and I don't put a whole lot of people on my Facebook, so it's hard to have open discussions with a whole bunch of people on there. If I've met you in real life, if we're good buddies, you get in there, but I don't really want to mix random wrestling people with my mom and my dad and my grandma and stuff like that. I hope you really understand. There are people who don't, but yeah, fuck you. But basically, I just saw people just sort of, and I see this every year. It's not like this year was different. Nobody really came out with some story that irked me or made me mad or anything like that. But people just openly saying that Wrestlemania isn't worth the money that people pay for it, and that there's this huge ball of regret that comes with paying for your Mania ticket, seeing how it's so overpriced, how it's the one show that sort of stands out from everything else. Honestly, when we sat down to buy the SummerSlam tickets this year, and they came out to be what they were, to sit in the 100 sections, I had to take a step back. It was like, are we really doing this? Like, is this what this is really worth? And it was the first time I ever had regret about going to a wrestling show. I feel that when WWE comes to Sacramento and they're in the Arco Arena, and whether if it's Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or a house show or anything like that, I always feel like it's worth the money. I've never gone to a show and walked out mad like I didn't get my money's worth. When I did go to SummerSlam, it was funny. I did have this mad open regret about being at the show, but it wasn't about how much money I paid for. It was because basically the storyline that laid out was Bryan Danielson getting his first shot at winning the WWE Championship, winning it, and Triple H taking it from him and giving it to Randy Orton, with Orton cashing in the Money in the Bank. And it wasn't like a mad, I'm never going to watch this shit ever again. It was a mad, I want to see what happens tomorrow on Raw. I wanted to hurry up and get gear. And plus, to add on to the story, it was the first day at Disneyland, so I wasn't able to really get up to date or even watch the show. It would be another week till I was able to lay my eyes on WWE television and see what's going on, and really be able to follow it instead of reading the sheets and reading tweets and things like that. You can figure out what's going on in the world by looking at Twitter, but for watching the show on your own, even watching people's reviews, you weren't really going to get what's going on. But that was just emotion that came out of me for the first time ever from going to a wrestling show, where I just left mad. And to state it, not mad because of what I paid for, because that would be completely against what this video is all about right here. But basically, people just say that Mania is not worth the money. And even though we had the regrets about SummerSlam, when you press that button, and they say congratulations for your order, you're going to SummerSlam 2013. When we placed the order, I had to buy 5 tickets all at once, and of course those people are going to pay me back as soon as possible. But that first thing, I was just wow. But, you gotta pay the piper. You gotta, put your belly up to the bar. And, that's the one thing that you have to do. Honestly, I think that a lot of people last year, WrestleMania 29, walked away thinking that the show wasn't the greatest. But I honestly think that if I would have been there, I still would have felt like I got my money's worth that was a good show. I stand behind that. I know that I didn't really go to the show. I paid a different amount, which I split, and I watched it on my television at home. So it wasn't like I had to pay the prices that other people had to pay. But I heard a lot of people say that they didn't like the show out there. But I don't know. When I went to WrestleMania 26, I was lucky enough that I didn't have to pay to be there. I won a cool contest. WrestleMania 27, I thought we had good seats, but it was the first time that we had bought seats. And I don't think we bought the best seats that we could have bought. But honestly, like Ravi said in his video today, Assault and Battery 777, said all he needed to be was in that Georgia Dome. It doesn't matter if he was the 100s, 200s, 300s, or 400s. He was in there. He was at his first WrestleMania, and that's all that mattered. And what people don't understand, honestly, is that, like, what I mean, like, you have to belly up to the bar, and do it, is like, you have to get over 2 hoops in order to have a good time at WrestleMania. You have to buy your plane tickets, because unless you're lucky enough to have it in your own backyard, you gotta fly to get there. Some people drive there, and if you live close enough to drive there, that's fun. Just don't drive to Miami, where they're gonna charge you $28 a day to park your car at your hotel, and then they're gonna want you to tip them every time that you want to come and go and leave. That's not the way it works. But you gotta buy that, and you gotta buy your WrestleMania ticket. And you can do you can do that in any order you want to do it. You don't have to buy your WrestleMania ticket today if you don't want to. You could save up. You can try and do what some other people have done. They've tried to get last minute deals, and they tried to buy their tickets in the parking lot, or buy their tickets in the city, seeing if they can find the right person that had a friend who couldn't go and sent them to sell their ticket, and maybe you can find a deal on it and you don't have to pay the outrageous prices. There are so many people that are just average ticket scalpers that are trying to pay for their WrestleMania trip by buying extra WrestleMania tickets and selling them on eBay. Go on eBay today and you will find outrageous prices on tickets in any sections where people mark them up twice as high, knowing that people are not going to know what they're doing and they're going to buy them. I haven't checked today, but I'm guaranteeing that if you go there, people will already have them up. But there's so many things that come along with being at WrestleMania. It's not like you just fly in, you stay at your hotel, and then you go to WrestleMania. Honestly, we're going to have to wait a few months, but soon, the Monday Night Raw tickets go on sale, and those are a whole lot more reasonably priced. And then after that, you have Hall of Fame tickets go on sale. I don't think that's the order they go on sale, but you know what I'm talking about. Hall of Fame's always a good show. They're not the hardest tickets to get. They're not the easiest tickets to get either. They're not outrageously priced, but I have honestly gone to the Hall of Fame not having the highest expectations and always walking out knowing that I saw something that, not that many people got to see and experience live. To see somebody like Edge and Shawn Michaels go into the Hall of Fame is going to be something that I'm always going to remember. The Four Horsemen was an honestly great experience. And even guys that got put in there that I just... Well, honestly, when Rikishi and the Usos put Yokozuna in the Hall of Fame, that was sort of the one time that I really wasn't into it. But at the same time, my buddy Miguel, freaking Yeti 8, was dying in a seat next to me, and I was sort of worried about him and what was going on and all that sort of stuff. But there's so much other stuff that goes along with it. There's the $5 wrestling. That's one of the funnest shows that you're going to go to, and it goes along with its name. It's $5. You can go to WrestleCon. It's going to cost you a couple dollars to walk in the door. You're able to, walk around and mingle with the wrestlers, and when you're in there, honestly, you can pay to, get autographs and get pictures with the wrestlers. But, if you pick the right wrestlers, and you don't pick the wrong wrestlers, they're very easily approachable. If you're not in their way of making a dollar, and you're not mingling there, forever, blocking their line where, paying customers can get there, they'll talk to you, and they'll tell you stories. And where else are you going to get that? It's not like you're able to, go down, before Monday Night Raw comes to your town, and you're going to have just some, open hotel ballroom, and there's going to be, 30 wrestlers in there, and be there for the taking of who you want to meet today, just sort of like a la carte. I think this year, if we do the WrestleCon experience, I think I want to get like one of the VIP tickets, just where I can meet everybody on the whole show, because I mean, like, those have always sort of sold out on me, and I've never really had a chance to get them. But I mean, like, I just feel like, the stories and everything that's come from WrestleMania. 26 was sort of a wash for me. It was my first WrestleMania. I'll always remember walking through the curtain and seeing that huge pyramid they built above the ring, and the wall that was there, and the ring, and it was something that, honestly, like, almost like an out-of-body experience. It's something that I'm always going to remember forever and ever, all through my life. And I mean, like, I make the blog videos because they're fun to make, and I want to remember everything that goes down. But I mean, like, the one goal I really make all those blog videos for, and try to get them uploaded up there as fast as I can. Most times on the trips, I've been able to upload them every night or in the next morning, so you guys can be up to date on what's going on there. Is because I want you to see how much fun there is. And I mean, like, it's very lucky that I was able to make the friends that I made, and I think a lot of people, I don't want to say that word because that's like, it sounds way too conceited, but I think there are people, honestly, that are, I don't really know, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, so don't use that against me, and I apologize. But I think that I'm very lucky, and I think there's people out there that might be jealous. Sounds very dickish, and that's a word that I'm trying not to use, but like, that I was able to find the friends that I was able to find. But there's a lot of different cliques out there on YouTube of different people that are out there, that, join together. I mean, like, our Skype call isn't the only Skype call in the world of people that, get on and talk about wrestling and everything else in the world. I'm very lucky to have the friends that I've made, and, where you're able to me, honestly, if I was going to go to WrestleMania, I wouldn't be able to do it by myself. I need to be able to cut that room cost down to as many people as I can. I would have 10 people in that hotel room if I could. I know we would get kicked out because we were having too much fun and making too much noise. We almost got kicked out of Atlanta because Luke came into a room on the last night, which is basically like a who gives a fuck. And basically, me and Ravi decided that we were going to hit some wrestling moves on Luke because he didn't really want to go along with it. And, oh, good times, good stories. But I mean, like, yeah, that room cost has to be as small as possible. So, I mean, like, you have to get out there and connect. And, because you get so many people in a room, you guys get so close. One of the funnest things that has ever happened to me on a WrestleMania trip, honestly, was not at an ROH show, not at a WWE show, not at an autograph signing, was just sitting at fucking Waffle House at 3 in the morning on the night before we went home. And that was in Atlanta. And it was just me and Miguel and Ravi when we kicked back and we talked to the waitress, we talked to the guy on the fry cook, we talked to each other, and that was just like, if there was any wrestling talk at that table, it was small. I mean, that was just about 3 friends sitting down, shooting the shit, knowing that we weren't going to see each other for, a year, that we'd be talking, that we were just friends. And I mean, that's all it is. I mean, like, so many times I hear from people, I don't give a fuck. I'll tell anybody I'm a wrestling fan. I'll tell anybody I'll wear any wrestling shirt. I just don't give a shit. But there's so many people out there that tell me, through YouTube or Twitter that, it's sort of embarrassing to be a wrestling fan. Nobody at their school, nobody at their work is a fan. And I have some small fans that I work with, and I have to change the way I talk because I can't just really tell them everything I know because I don't want to kill their love of wrestling that they do have. But I mean, like, if you go to WrestleMania, you're going to be surrounded by the biggest wrestling fans in the world. I mean, look at the thing that we did in Miami when we came back from Monday Night Raw, when everybody was so jazzed from the Daniel Bryan show that we all, we yesed the whole way down the road. Whether it was a mile or a half mile or a mile and a half, it felt like forever. And then we just took over the hotel lobby with, 5, 6 guys jumping in off the elevator, shouting, yes, yes, yes. It turned into a freaking riot. That I don't think the hotel did anything about it because they didn't know what the fuck to do. I mean, like, it is wall-to-wall wrestling fans. You can turn around and bump anybody in that hotel that you're going to be staying in, and they're going to be wearing a wrestling shirt, and you can talk to them, and you can make a best friend that you can have for the rest of your life. Wrestlemania is the biggest value as being a wrestling fan. It is beyond anything out there. I mean, like, you can say that, like, we have it easy, I guess you could say, because basically if you're a big NFL fan, I mean, like, you have to buy Super Bowl tickets so far out. And most of the time, the people that buy Super Bowl tickets are season ticket holders for the place that's going to be hosting the Super Bowl. So, like, for, the Super Bowl that's coming up in a couple of years, it's going to be hosted in the stadium that's being built in Santa Clara with the 49ers. If you're a 49ers season ticket holder, they'll come to you and say, hey, do you want to buy tickets? And then the other tickets are all bought up by major corporations that they're going to send people that they're trying to impress and say, hey, buy our product, let us sponsor your magazines, and it's backdoor hand shandy kind of stuff. We'll help you if you help us, and basically once you look at the stadium, it's not even real football fans that are in there. I'm not saying that those people who do get those majority tickets aren't, whatever. But I mean, like, let's just say that you want to go to a Super Bowl. You have to buy those tickets so far out in advance that if you're a fan of a team, you don't even know who's going to be there. Luckily, right now, when we sit down to buy our WrestleMania tickets, people might say that, the wrestling that's on TV isn't the best that it's ever been. But I mean, like, if you're able to sit down and you try to put the pen to paper right now, you can pretty much put together what the WrestleMania card is going to be. And even though, like, Survivor Series might not be looking like the best, I'll throw rocks at this card all day long. You put Big Show in a main event, I'm not going to be happy. But I mean, like, not everybody's, Mania card's going to come true, but I mean, you honestly stack Mania to be the biggest show that it could be, because that's what it is. Every year, I mean, people try to pick what is the best WWE pay-per-view of the year, and a lot of people who make those kind of videos, who do, award show videos, or I do those. I mean, like, hey, I'd like to give the Peyton Manning Award to... something like that. A lot of people will try to exclude WrestleMania to try to make their video better, because WrestleMania is so easy to give to the show of the year. Most years, every once in a while, a show will pop up. A SummerSlam or a Money in the Bank 2012 is a good example. Or was it Money in the Bank 2011? Fuck me, I don't remember. I think it was 2011, but be show of the year, because it was so good that it was able to overtake WrestleMania. But it's honestly not going to be there. When you sit back and you think about it, not that many people go to one WrestleMania and never go again, because of how great the experience is, that you want to keep going over and over and over and over again. People dog on 27 of being not that good of a show, that it was headlined by Triple H and The Undertaker, and they had a good match, and everything else sort of sucked. A match that needed a count out between The Miz and John Cena. You did get to see The Rock hit some wrestling moves in there, and sort of steal the show at the end of it. So I mean, it's not like it was horrible, but I mean, people did diss on that show of not being good, but yet the people that went to 27, they sure the fuck went to 28 to see Cena versus Rock, and nobody was really selling their tickets when they found out that Cena and Rock were going to be the twice in a lifetime at WrestleMania 28. I mean, it wasn't like it was horrible. I mean, like, yeah, it was the same match it was last year, but it wasn't like, they did the same match 3 times during the year on different pay-per-views. I mean, it was still a year removed from when it was there, and they added more to it with the WWE Championship being on the line, and some people were able to think that it might be, too easy to see who was going to win, because, The Rock wasn't going to do Extreme Rules, and there's no way that he was going to work house shows, and they sort of had the belt tied up with him for so long, and he wasn't able to do all the Monday Night Raws in between, the Royal Rumble and then, and everybody had a reason to sort of bitch and complain, but, I was one of the people who didn't go to 29. I just didn't want to deal with New York City. I just didn't want to deal with going all those years in a row. I do have a little bit of regret for not going. I think that I looked at the card, it looked fun. It looked like a fun time to me. Going to WrestleCon and meeting the Ultimate Warrior and meeting Hulk Hogan on the same day would have been a fucking once-in-a-lifetime experience. So much of stuff that goes along with it. But I'm just saying, like, if you're one of those people who are just throwing rocks because you're jealous, because you're not going to WrestleMania, you should just say that. I mean, like, to say that it's not worth the money and this, that, and the other. I promise you, if you sit down and you look down at it, it doesn't cost as much as you think it does. You do have to save up some money. You have to push some stuff around, like this, that, and the other. But I've never met anybody who's ever said that this sucked and I'm never coming again, unless something really, really bad happened to them along the way where, you know, they got mugged, they got beat up. I don't know anything that happened like that along the way, but I mean, that's the only thing that could happen. Maybe something got thrown at their forehead and hit them, but I don't know. I think it's worth the money, and I stand up till the day I die. This is Stevie Breach.